Part 15. Yang Mi, My Daughter Catches Ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 141. This is the damn one. No, is this our Suanman sect master? So handsome and elegant. No wonder, Damamai and Reba were able to commit themselves to the stinky man. This appearance, this figure, this temperament, it's really amazing. Although the master of the door is cynical and bohemian, there really is something, like an outsider in it. Wait, what's going on? I turned my head and wanted to tell my mother that the master of the sect that she had longed for, Wu Lu-san, was very handsome. But I found that I had forgotten the appearance of the master of the door in an instant. Damn it! Me too, when I watched it, I just wanted to say the word handsome. I closed my eyes, but I couldn't remember the face of the master. What the hell is this? What are you talking about? The master of the door is simply my male god. He was so handsome, how could he not remember it? Damn, I really can't remember. Awesome. So awesome. Holding the sun and moon in my hand and picking up the stars, there is no one like me in the world. I'm afraid the master of the sect is really a god. When they saw Zhou Yi's face just now, the audience in the live broadcast room, including those from abroad, were all stunned. Because this is a young man with sword-shaped eyebrows, starry eyes, and a handsome smile. He was completely in everyone's aesthetic point of view. But everyone soon discovered a strange thing. That is, although everyone could see him and was deeply impressed by his appearance, they could not remember it. I couldn't help but notice his appearance. Even, if everyone's attention hadn't been on him, I'm afraid they wouldn't have been able to see him for the first time. They would have subconsciously ignored or skipped over it. It was as if he didn't belong to this world. It seems so. The same is true for everyone at the scene. After being amazed, they all kept complaining in their hearts. This smiling man is clearly right in front of you, but why do you feel this indescribable mistiness? However, this is all it's for people who met Zhou Yi for the first time. Or, it's for people who met Zhou Yi today. I've met Zhou Yi before. And I've been in love with Zhou Yi for a long time, so I don't know how to communicate with him in a simple and in-depth way. How many times have Yang Mi, Lu Yifei, and others not felt this way? At this moment, one by one, they are all smiling, but their eyes are slightly red. Looking at that person who has been thinking about it day and night, looking forward to it day and night. The smelly man is walking towards me. Daughters-in-law, wives, ladies. Do you want your husband to die? Come on, let your husband kiss you. Zero. The old man and old lady in front finally made way. Zhou Yi said with a smile and took the lead to walk in front of Yang Mi, Reba, and others. Then she hugged Yang Mi and kissed her pretty red lips. Oops. Don't. Yang Mi wanted to refuse. After all, in public, this is too shameful. But that stinky man didn't care about this at all. What can she do? Finally, she allowed her stinky man to hug her and kiss her hard. He kissed her until her delicate body trembled slightly, and her face was slightly red and hot. Also let Yang Mi fans in the live broadcast room. 3.5. I was crushed and speechless. That's not how dog food is spread, right? But, this is just the beginning. As soon as he kissed Yang Mi, the stinky man hugged Diliriba who was standing beside her. Then he kissed Diliriba's beautiful red lips fiercely, with Yang Mi in front. Diliriba didn't resist much, she was even very obedient and hugged the smelly man's waist. Yang Mi, My Daughter Catches Ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 142. Although he is the master of the sect, I still feel envious and jealous. My goddess Mimi, my goddess Reba. It's so shameless, the master of the door is so shameless. How could they be so close, holding each one and chewing on them one by one. Wait, fairy sister? No. Woo. Even though I knew they had a child, I still couldn't look directly at the scene of the fairy sister being kissed by this man. Goddess Lu Shishi, so shy and gentle in front of this stinky man. The more this happens, the more envious I become. The mouth of Goddess Sugar must be as sweet as her name. Woo, this big pig's hooves is so cheap. I don't care, it's just a big pig's hooves. Zhao Liang, where is your knife? Aren't you Zhao Xiaodao? Why are you so defenseless in front of this guy? Wait a minute, Bela Baimanjian, please be more reserved. Why are you trying to get it up yourself? No more. Jealousy makes people crazy. My mentality is shattered, this must be the reincarnation of Lord Wei. Just kiss. Can you please pay attention to the situation, now that the army is approaching, how can we still have the love between our children? When I was on the phone before, I could tell that the owner of the door was so uninhibited and casual. It's not unusual at all for him to do this. Kiss. Kiss. Once he comes out, I feel that China will be saved. So it doesn't matter to me how many goddesses there are. Is China really saved? Why do I feel, he doesn't seem to have much strength. His appearance was too simple, and he even had to have others make way for him. The most mysterious big pig's hooves, the master of the Suanman sect, Zhou Yi, has never appeared. Finally appeared. Just this appearance caused many people psychological discomfort. The heroic Bai Qian Shang Shen Damamai, the charming Bai Feng Judi Laraba, the Baguio fairy Zhao Liang, the fairy sister Lu Yifei, the nightshade sister Lu Shishi, and the descendant of Nuwa Zixuan Tang Tang, all dressed in colorful clouds. There is white dew like the arrival of a banished immortal. This guy, actually kissed me all over again. You can't shoot a kiss scene like this, right? Of course, this is not the most important thing, what many people are more concerned about is: how does this extremely mysterious man appear in such a simple way? What kind of strength does he have? This problem. In the live broadcast room, viewers all over the world want to know. Mr. Kong Yun's Hung, Mr. Zhang Jiwei and others at the scene wanted to know even more. And what I want to know the most are naturally the practitioners from all directions, from all over the world, who are besieging China. Especially Bader Khan and others of Outer Mongolia Drum. At this moment, in my heart, I feel as much suffering as I want, and as much panic as I want. This man. In the eyes of people like them, it is absolutely a nightmare-like horror. Who would have thought? After this guy showed up, he didn't show up at all. Holding his own daughter-in-law in his arms, he just chewed her up. Just kiss me. Can you please pay attention to those of us who are still waiting around? Doesn't this mean that these innate delusions are not taken seriously at all? Think of the possibility. Everyone was even more panicked. Fortunately at this time, that guy finally finished kissing me. It was the expression of comfort and enjoyment on his face. I really deserve a beating. It makes people hate the itching of their teeth. Stinky man. Where have you been these days? Yes, husband, you are worried about us. Zhuyi, tell the truth. What kind of cultivation level do you have? My husband. We, China, are besieged by the whole world. If you don't come out, we may be doomed. Husband, you must be very strong in combat. Are they going to be wiped out with just a snap of a finger? 377. Husband, according to your plan, we have eliminated Bangsa country, Asan country, and Sakurajima country. But now China is the enemy of the whole world. Yes. These people are all coveting our top quality spiritual stones and various treasures. Among them are 39 innate experts in the delusion realm. Although Zhou Yi was not in a hurry, Yang Mi, Diliriba, and others were already full of questions and had been holding them back for several days. So after being kissed by the stinky man, they immediately surrounded him. 7 They were all talking, and they took turns to torture each other. Of course, it sounded like torture. There was more worry and concern between the words. And as soon as they asked these questions, everyone around them, including those in the live broadcast room, hundreds of millions of people, the audience's ears all stood up. What realm and strength does this man have? It is definitely the question that everyone in the world is most concerned about. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 143. As the old saying goes, 3 women make a play. Yang Mi, Dilraba, Lu Yifei, Zhao Liang, Tang Yan, Lu Shishi, Bai Lu, these 7 women can sing 2 big plays together and become somewhat wealthy. Surrounded by them, they will drink and make noise. You can imagine how noisy it will be. However, Zhou Yi was accustomed to this, and knew that they were only worried about him. As a time traveler, this path is your own choice. That's right. Zhou Yi is a time traveler. Inexplicably, I traveled to this parallel world that was quite similar to the previous world, but very different. When I first started traveling through time, Zhou Yi is messy, confused, excited and excited. Although the 2 worlds are quite different, but I can be regarded as living a new life. Based on the experience of the previous world, Zhou Yi started to speculate in stocks, play Bitcoin, invest in real estate, invest in Alibaba, Tongsuan, Douyin. He didn't know what freedom of wealth meant. Anyway, when I was 7 or 8 years old, I made tens of millions. When he was 10 years old, he was worth several hundred million. When he was 15 or 16, the industrial fields he was involved in were already far beyond imagination. He even expanded his business territory to foreign countries and around the world. All this went very smoothly. It was also extremely smooth, until one day, he discovered something extremely strange. Oh, damn it, and I saw many ancient figures who had been dead for who knows how many years. For example, the founder of the sect in Longhu Mountain, Zhang Daoling, and Zhang Tianqi. The founder of the Wudang Mountain sect, Tai Chi Master Zhang Sanfen. Sanmao Patriarch of the Qing sect on Mission Mountain, etc. At the beginning, he thought he was sick, a neurotic delusion or something. I almost scared myself to death. Later I found something was wrong. He could actually practice with these people in his dream. And as he stepped into the ranks of practitioners, he discovered that this world was far more complicated than he imagined. There are actually practitioners. Even before the pre-Qin period, there were immortal cultivators and even immortals. At that time, he was already very messy. I thought it was an urban rebirth plot. Did you bring me an urban cultivator? Don't be too ridiculous. But things are not over. It's even just begun. He began to see all kinds of strange people in his dreams. Know all kinds of weird secrets. At the same time, he discovered his calling. There are more, and they are getting heavier. The kind that presses people so hard that they can barely breathe. Who knows how he got here all these years? Anyway, whenever I have time. He just enjoys life to the fullest and enjoys life. Whether he is a bohemian, a playboy, a big pig's hoof, he doesn't care about these titles at all. Just be happy and that's it. At the same time, he also started various deductions and plans. Prepare for the opening of Suanman's true body this time. After doing all this, Zhao Qinhao. He just went to another world alone. He did something shocking and shocking. It was really shocking, the kind that made ghosts and gods weep. For this reason, he almost disappeared from that world and was completely shaken. Fortunately, at the critical moment, he escaped unscathed. As for that matter, success or failure is the key. There is no final conclusion yet. Because that incident really involved too many taboos and too many great horrors. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 144. Husband, why don't you speak? That's right, husband, what is your realm and what kind of fighting power are you? Husband. Can beat these people? I found that Zhou Yi had been silent. Dili Riba, Bai Lu, and Zhao Liang couldn't help it anymore, and asked again. Everyone else also pricked up their ears. Beat. Of course I can beat him. If you want to get rid of these little rubbish, it only takes a few minutes, just move your fingers. Nothing more. Me, your husband. Can't seem to make a move. Zhou Yi couldn't help scratching his head as he spoke. When the others heard the first few sentences, they almost jumped with excitement. Hear the last two sentences. My mood almost hit rock bottom again. The look he looked at Zhou Yi was filled with thousands of black question mark faces. Including those practitioners from the rice country and the woolly bear country. They all stared blankly. Among them, Battle and others from outer Mongolia 240 drum country almost fell from mid-air. What this guy says is really scary. Kill us in a moment, with the move of a finger. You won't be able to take action for a while. What the hell are you doing? Husband, what do you mean? Husband, aren't you injured? Ah, husband, show me where you are injured. Lu Yifei, Yang Mi, and Tang Yan, Ajay, seemed to have heard the meaning of Zhou Yi's words, and they all spoke one after another. The other little fairies were also frightened, and they started pulling at Zhou Yi's body in various ways. As for the Chinese practitioners and the Chinese people in the live broadcast room, their hearts trembled again. They also had the same idea as Yang Mi and others. After all, this guy has been very mysterious during this period. I don't know where he went. What's more, he said something righteously and solemnly. Even though tens of thousands of people have gone there, I have such tragic words. Obviously, the place he went to must be extremely dangerous. When he appeared just now, there was nothing wrong with him. The voice was as plain as an ordinary person. More from the side, it confirmed this possibility. How could everyone not be worried? Looking forward to the stars, looking forward to the moon. Finally, this mysterious man came out. The Chinese nation is at its most critical moment. He is definitely the last life-saving straw for the entire Chinese people. I never thought he was actually injured. Isn't that right? All the joy is in vain. The Chinese nation is still going to end. And what makes everyone collapse the most isn't this guy unparalleled in resourcefulness? He is strategizing and winning thousands of miles away. Even if you are really injured and unable to take action, don't say it directly. Just sing the empty city strategy. Isn't it good to scare those foreign practitioners? With the name of Zhou Yi, it has created a deterrent effect in the hearts of practitioners all over the world for so many days. It can definitely scare those practitioners. When the time comes, China will be safe and you will recover from your injuries. Everything will develop in a better direction. But this guy just blew his trump card. This is not. It is obvious that those foreign cultivators who covet China are even more eager to join forces. Will you take advantage of your illness to kill you? And at this time, Zhou Yi spoke again. I just went for a walk around another world. Accidentally, my cultivation level improved too quickly. This world can't bear my existence now. Let alone take action. Haven't you noticed that I am actually trying my best to suppress my cultivation? The whole person has jumped out of the three realms and is no longer in the five elements. Don't talk about taking action. If I accidentally failed to suppress my cultivation, I'm afraid this world will collapse to pieces. Sigh, I suddenly became so strong and so defiant, I feel helpless. As soon as Zhou Yi's words came out, everyone who had mixed feelings, felt even more indescribable. What the hell is this? Although we have long known that our Suanman sect master is an outrageous person. Existence. But you really don't want to be too outrageous. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 145. I'm crazy again, can this man be a little outrageous? Did you just go for a walk in another world? Upgrading too quickly? Jumping out of the 3 realms and not in the 5 elements? Are you trying to suppress your cultivation? Otherwise, the world will collapse into pieces. Any one of them is so outrageous, but why can he say it all at once? Could it be that, Lord Sect Master, this is a high-end empty city strategy? Let those people quit when they are faced with difficulties. Empty city is nothing. Just now, he could execute a perfect empty city strategy without saying anything. Now, at best, he is threatening others with the same death. If you dare to fight, I will destroy this world. The combat power has been upgraded, but the deterrence has been reduced. This has not been a threat before. What if the other party just doesn't believe it and you dare to destroy the world? Why do I feel like this damn big pig is just showing off? It's just that it's a bit too much, but it's useless. $500,000 jumped out from somewhere upstairs. The IP is in the United States, so that's fine. Does he still need to show off? What an international joke. These days, his performance has almost reached the sky. Then you still need to pretend, let alone pretending in reverse. Yes. Although he has never shown his face in the past few days, there are outrageous incidents and legends about him everywhere. Almost everyone around the world knows this name, which represents a great terror. Why should he show off in reverse? It's all chaos, and it turns out to be the master of the door. I really can't understand what he's doing. Reverse pretense is the most deadly. Is this deadly, not targeting the enemy, but everyone in the world, dash. What Zhou Yi just said. The hundreds of millions of online viewers in the live broadcast room were all confused and speechless. Whether it's Chinese or foreign. At this moment, I am a little confused. Some people believe that he is real, but they don't understand why he revealed his past in such a way. Some people suspect that he is showing off, and that he is showing off in reverse, but no evidence or reason can be found. In short, this man, although the way he appeared was very bland. But just a few words. It blew up the whole place, making everyone burnt on the outside and tender on the inside, unable to extricate themselves. Especially the practitioners on site. The mood at this time is even more indescribable. They are different from the audience in the live broadcast room. They can see Zhou Yi himself, so they can also feel that Zhou Yi's state at this moment is really mysterious. You can't remember what he looks like. Even if you don't look at him deliberately, you can't help but ignore his existence. Just as he said. Jumping out of the 3 realms is not in the 5 elements. It seems that he is just an ordinary person. But what he showed was definitely not a state that an ordinary person could have. This also makes everyone have to doubt. What he just said, can't be all true. Because I went to a different world and my cultivation level improved too much. So now, all his strength is suppressing his own cultivation. Don't dare to let yourself come into this world completely. Lest this world fall apart in an instant because it can't bear his presence. That's nonsense. Ridiculous. But I don't know why, it happened to him, but it's hard not to believe it. All of a sudden. The cultivators on the scene, those on the Chinese side were okay, anyway, they had long been prepared to die. No matter what the outcome was, they would all die together, and they accepted it. But on the opposite side, there are practitioners from more than 200 countries. Some people started to panic. He even started to think about quitting, especially the army of practitioners from Weimengu. We are just halfway through our attack on China. Because of Zhou Yi's sudden appearance, he was forced to stop in mid-air, nor could he move forward. Neither is retreating. As embarrassing as it is. Khan. What do we do? Beside battle, two cultivators of the delusion realm looked at battle with blank expressions. Looking straight at battle, he felt extremely depressed. I know what the hell I should do. If this guy shows up, just tell us to get out. We might just get out. After all, this guy is so strong, it makes sense. Who would have thought? He is so confused and confused. He is obviously ridiculously strong. But he says he can't take action. Is this to seduce us and continue the attack? But there's no need to be so obvious about your seduction, as if you're treating us like we're mentally retarded. Husband, you are not joking, are you? Yes, husband, you've been talking for a long time, it's better not to say anything. What to do? Opposite are three innately superior Poluan realms. Except for Sister Shishi, we can survive the transformation, the others are no match at all. By Lu, Dilruba, Lu Yifei, and others. My mood is very complicated now. Although I have known for a long time that the men in my family have always been like this. Cynical and bohemian. But now the enemy is at hand. Please give me flowers. Why is this guy still taking it so seriously? No kidding. Your husband, I, can only drive, not joke. As for these people. Now it's the Outer Mongolia drum that needs to take the lead, right? Very good, very good. It was originally our country of China. Taking this opportunity, it would be nice to just take it back. When Zhou Yi's words came out, everyone became even more confused. While you were saying that you couldn't do anything, you were still thinking, to take back the Wei Mongolian drum. Who gave you the confidence? Arrogant. You go too far. Although I am confused by you. But, you are really too arrogant. Today I want to see how you can take back our Mongolian drum. The worst case scenario is that we all die together. I'm fooling people, I'm not afraid of death. Khan Bator of Weimengu was originally very entangled and hesitant. After hearing Zhou Yi's frivolous remarks, his anger was instantly aroused. Including the two Xiantian Shangpo Delhi realm behind him, as well as many Xiantian realm practitioners. At this time, they were all ignited with the flames of war. Buzz buzz. Buzz buzz. All kinds of true energy are stimulated. The sky-high light pillars dyed the sky a layer of dark green. 100,000 ghost cavalry appeared in mid-air again. Go. Let me conquer China. If that guy doesn't dare to take action, no one can stop me. No matter what, let's fight to the death today. At worst, the whole world will be destroyed, so why not? The roars of the three battles echoed endlessly. The fighting spirit of the entire Mengu army was also soaring into the sky. Not to mention the people on the Chinese side, they only had the cultivation level of the innate realm. Even several innate ones at this moment, they were all frightened by the formation and momentum of the Mengu people. No wonder. They dared to take the lead. As the first batch of beneficiaries of the energy of chaos, battle and others from the Mengu kingdom are actually so powerful. Extraordinarily strong. Even the Red Archbishop from the Rice country is a little scared at this moment. He doesn't seem to be that strong. 5. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 146. Rumble. Rumble. Batel Khan, who is in Outer Mongolia, is surrounded by hundreds of thousands of ghost cavalry, leading the way. The other two behind him, who are innately strong in the delusion realm, have the same dark green spears in their hands, 3 of them. It is equivalent to gathering the momentum and combat power of an army of 300,000, and even the fighting spirit. When people look at it from a distance, they feel heartbroken. Is this the Mongolian drum practitioner who conquers the world on horseback? I always feel like if I get killed by a wave of them, I will turn into a pile of meat under that iron cavalry. It's over, now, it's really over. No, doesn't it mean that the sect master can deal with it? Why haven't you taken action yet? Didn't you hear what the door owner just said? His strength has exceeded the limit of this world. If he really takes action, I'm afraid this world will collapse. Isn't it? Real or fake? Aren't you talking nonsense? If it's true, then why doesn't the sect owner take action? The Chinese audience was completely devastated. As for the foreign online audiences, everyone started shouting. Yeah. China is finally going to perish. Haha, let them be arrogant, now they are dead. The Savior 227 they placed their trust in was, unfortunately, just a guy who could only tell lies. As long as China is destroyed, China's land will become our new colony. Yes, I really want to have a taste of Chinese women. Upstairs, the hero sees the same thing. For a moment, both within China and outside China, they felt that there was no need to worry about the sudden appearance of Zhou Yi. No matter whether he was bragging or not, he had no way to take action now. Okay, you say that your strength is very strong and has exceeded the limit of this world. Then don't take action if you have the guts. If you want to take action, then everyone will be destroyed together. But if you don't take action, you can only watch. Watching China being destroyed. Let me see how you choose. It can be said that this is an unsolvable problem. This makes many monks in China feel heavy. The leader, Mr. Kong Yunzheng, and Mr. Zhang Jiwei, a trace of solemnity appeared on the old faces of Tianqi and others. They originally thought that after Zhou Yi came back, they should be able to easily deal with the foreign enemy cultivators invading China. Unexpectedly, Zhou Yi actually said that they can't take action. Because they are too powerful, they can easily destroy the world. Regardless of whether this matter is true or not, they only know that the only hope they have placed on them is gone. This makes the monks around them couldn't help but ask questions. Stand up. Old man, what should we do now? Master Tianqi, do we have any countermeasures? Mr. Kong Yunzheng and Master Zhang Jiwei looked at each other, with helpless expressions in their cloudy eyes. They secretly thought in their hearts, damn it, you ask us, we ask. How do we know what else to do? However, although they were complaining in their hearts, they also knew that it was impossible for the words to come out of their mouths. So Mr. Kong Yunzheng said directly, fight to the death. Master Zhang Jiwei also said coldly, not bad, this group of foreign gangsters actually want to invade our country. This is absolutely impossible. Even if we fail in the end, we must let them know that the power of China cannot be bullied. Yes. Zhang Jiwei's words immediately made the Chinese monks in the audience boil with enthusiasm, and their morale also skyrocketed. Batel Khan, who was leading the Mengu monks to kill the Chinese monks, saw this. He couldn't help but smile coldly and said in a cold voice, resist stubbornly. Let me see how you survive today. Husband, what should I do? Do you want to anger Sister Shishi? After she transformed into a red nightshade, she shot an arrow, maybe she could stop them. It really doesn't work. Let's take the elixir that our husband gave us together. Although it cannot break through the innate level due to the curse of blood, it can still greatly double the combat power. That is. The most we can do is that our body is in a state of depletion, and we can just ask my husband to replenish it for us. It seems like this is the only way to go. If all the 39 innate ones can be solved by then, we in China should not have a big problem in a short time. Bai Lu, Yang Mi, Dili Riba, Lu Yifei, Master Lu, and others, were extremely anxious at this time and spoke like this. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding practitioners who were besieging China were once again confused. It was overwhelming. Especially Mengubator Khan and others who launched the second attack. They almost exploded on the spot. What the hell? Do you have any other magic pills? After taking it, your combat power can be doubled. Why not earlier? Talk about it? No wonder you say, if you are not a family, you will not enter the same house. You are just like that Zhou Yi, deliberately torturing us. I should have known that you had secret methods. Even if you kill us, you don't dare to come. But I think so, this guy knows things like a god, and he keeps coming up with all kinds of weird things. It seems very normal to leave some pills or something for his woman. It would be unreasonable not to leave them. Go. No matter what kind of elixir, I'll fight today. Bartel roared again. This time, the anger was more serious than before. He still knows the reason why it will be exhausted again. This time, no matter what, he can't be scared to give up. Otherwise, the morale will be weakened. Completely gone. Even if the women of that guy have any spirit-breaking pills in their hands, what can they do? More than 200 countries, tens of thousands of practitioners, and 39 people who are above the innate level of breaking the delusion. It's really as small. Can the elixir make up for it? Seeing that the people outside Mengu were getting closer and closer. All Chinese monks are full of energy and are ready to fight tooth and nail. Yang Mi, Lu Yifei, and others actually took out the elixirs in their hands and were ready to take them at any time. However, a pair of hands stretched out. Stop them. Hello. Daughters-in-law, wives, ladies. Be patient and don't be impatient. Do you still need to take medicine to deal with these little thieves? Husband, I'm not even willing to let you go, so I'll let you take medicine. Zhou Yi said with a smile. The girls were speechless and their pretty faces were red. What time has it been, and this stinky man still has the heart to make a joke? The audience in the live broadcast room also had a speechless exclamation mark. Do not worry. To deal with these little thieves, our daughter is enough. 11 baby. It's time to take action. As soon as Zhou Yi finished speaking, a small figure suddenly appeared from mid-air. Surprisingly, it was Zhou Shi'ai who had not shown much appearance today. Hearing what Zhou Yi said. Seeing Zhou Shi'ai's appearance again, the doubts in everyone's hearts were not only not relieved, but also increased. What the hell? Let Zhou Shi'ai deal with those innate delusions. Although in the past few days, sisters Zhou Shi'ai and Zhou Shiyu have made breakthroughs one after another and reached the innate realm. But because of the curse, the two of them were unable to break through the innate realm and reach the realm of breaking the delusion. Maybe it's because of Zhu Yi's teachings over the years. Their sisters are stronger than Yang Mi, Lu Yifei, and others who have just entered the spiritual world. But it's definitely not that strong. At least it's impossible to deal with, the realm of delusion. Not to mention dealing with three of them all at once. Dad. You are finally back. Baby, miss you so much. Originally, I wanted to wait until these people got closer. It was exposed by you in advance. Standing in the air, Zhou Shi'ai, who looked like an elf, was speaking. The figure flickered a few times and flew into Zhou Yi's arms. He hugged Zhou Yi's neck and kissed Zhou Yi on the face. Everyone was envious and confused at the same time. When did this happen? Just now, the love between son and daughter was strong, and now the love between father and daughter is playing out again, right? Why do I feel like you guys don't take China's plight seriously at all? Ah. Crush China to pieces for me. Leave no one behind. Batel Khan of Mengu Kingdom's anger was piled up several times. This guy named Zhou Yi, and that little girl, did they really not regard us as enemies? No, this is simply not treating us as human beings. The many practitioners who were watching the Wei Meng drum were already close in front of them. Everyone's hearts were in their throats. Zhou Xi finally moved. She stretched out her white and tender hands and gently snapped her fingers. Boom! The sky 2.1 and the earth trembled. Then, a figure as huge as a mountain suddenly flew out of the spirit bag in front of Zhou Xi. This figure is as tall as Ren. His whole body was filled with black energy, and he had only one pair of eyes, as red as blood. Through the black ghost mist, you can vaguely see him, as if he is wearing a dragon robe. Voila! Court death. Zhu Kijhen, will be scolded as a dog by future generations. Nor can I allow you to meddle with my Ming dynasty, my country of China. While speaking, the figure suddenly pushed forward with a palm. The sound of ghosts crying and wolves howling could not be heard without stopping. The raging black energy turned into giant dragons and bombarded the many practitioners of Outer Mongolia drum. Bang bang bang. The three powerful people who broke the delusion realm, including Battle, were making a huge noise just now. In front of the giant dragon transformed by the black ghost energy, it was as if it were made of paper, and was immediately blown away. The innate practitioners behind him are even more vulnerable. He didn't even have time to resist. The giant dragon transformed by the black ghost energy was bombarded into a piece of flesh. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 147. Damn it! What's going on? Where did this ghostly figure wearing a dragon robe come from? What did he call himself just now? Zhu Kijhen? The yin spirit ghost body of Ming dynasty war god Zhu Kijhen? No. This is too outrageous. It was the one who led an army of 200,000 but was defeated miserably. The Ming god of war who was captured by Walla? No wonder he said he was called a dog, haha. Wait, Walla. It seems that the Mengu kingdom was part of the original Walla. No wonder he shouted like that just now. It turned out to be a professional counterpart. Isn't the title of Ming god of war a mockery of him? How could this guy be so strong? With one slap, all the innates in the Mengu kingdom were destroyed, and the three Pohuan realms were also knocked away. I suddenly remembered, Zhou Xi said before that her father asked him to go to the Great Wall first and then to the Ming tombs. No wonder she hasn't been in the live broadcast room these days. It turns out she went to the Ming tombs by herself. Also subdued the yin spirit of Zhu Kijhen, the Ming dynasty god of war. The sudden appearance of Zhu Qi Zhenyinling left the Chinese people in the live broadcast room puzzled. Foreign people, let alone, don't even know who Zhu Kijhen is, and their minds are full of questions. The foreign practitioners present at the scene knew more or less about it. After all, China is the place where orthodoxy comes from. These old monsters who have lived for hundreds of years, will study the history of China. When the small Suanmen was opened and the monks from the 8 kingdoms encircled China, they also plundered a lot of various antiques and classics from the Ming dynasty. Of course, the research focuses on the spiritual world. Zhu Kijhen was only known to some people as an emperor. But, whether you know it or not, at this moment, I saw Zhu Qi town, which was thousands of meters high and majestic, overwhelming the entire Mengu kingdom. They are also full of suspicion and confusion. This guy seems to be just an emperor in the secular world and has no cultivation. How could his yin spirit be so strong? Could it be, is it because of that guy again? Finally, everyone's eyes turned to Zhou Yi. This guy was still being held in Zhou Xi's arms and kissed fiercely. There is no trace of the demeanor of an outsider. But everyone understood, except him. No one else has such powerful means. Make the dead emperor his daughter's thug. Father and daughter, they are really good at playing. What no one expected was that this was just the beginning. Bang bang bang. After being slapped by Zhu Qichen, he flew several thousand meters away. The three men from Mengu Kingdom finally regained their balance, and each of them looked extremely ugly. It took a long time to fight, with all kinds of twists and turns and all kinds of ups and downs. Finally rushed in front of people. But he was slapped away by a yin spirit that suddenly appeared. Even everyone's innate state has been photographed into a pulp. This is too embarrassing. How is it possible? This is just a yin spirit, how could it be so strong? Isn't China cursed? Doesn't that little girl only have an innate state? Why? What is this? Battle's eyes were about to burst, and he looked up to the sky and roared angrily. The blood of China is indeed cursed. But sorry. The dead have no blood. Therefore, yin spirits are naturally not within the scope of the curse. Zhou Yi's light voice came. Everyone was stunned. So this is it? How can you still play like this? No wonder this guy just revealed his old background and didn't take these enemies seriously. This is his planning? Dad. I followed the exercises you left for me and found them for them to practice. I didn't expect them to work very hard after learning about China's predicament. In just a few days, they have all cultivated to the level of a ghost general, which is comparable to the realm of breaking the delusion. Wait until I summon a few more to play with. Zhou Shi's milky voice also sounded. At the same time, she snapped her fingers again. A series of faint lights flashed in the Yuling bag. Next to Zhu Qichen, the Ming god of war, appeared again a huge figure thousands of meters high. Chongzhen Zhu Yijian. He failed to defend the Ming dynasty during his lifetime and was ashamed of his ancestors. After death, I am willing to use my little power to protect every inch of China's territory. It turned out to be the emperor who guarded the country, and the king died in the country. The last emperor of the Ming dynasty, Chongzhen, was hanged on the Maishan mountain. But, this is not over yet. I am Tiankai Zhu Yuxiao. I am Zhu Changluo, Taikang. I am Wanli Zhu Yujun. 3 more figures appeared. But when the Wanli Emperor Zhu Yujun finally appeared, the head is low and the voice is low. After all, it is in the judgment of later generations. He is called the culprit of the Ming dynasty's demise by most people. But now, no one cares about these old things from the past. Whether it is the audience in the live broadcast room or the practitioners on site, looking at these 5 statues, they look like giant figures standing like mountains. Everyone's brains are buzzing. From the conversation between Zhou Shi and Zhou Yi, they had already guessed it. This is indeed Zhou Yi's plan that he had planned before. Let Zhou Shi go to the Ming tombs and take under his command all the 13 emperors' spirits inside. And he also passed on the skills to them, making them equivalent to the level of the ghost general in the Pohuan realm. In other words, on the Chinese side, there are suddenly more 5 powerful men at the Deliang level. And it seems that it is not an ordinary Poluan realm. After all, it is produced by Zhu Yi and is absolutely exquisite. Not to mention cross-border fighting, but it can be regarded as an invincible existence at the same level. The most important thing is, the Ming tombs. There are 13 emperors inside. The few who are appearing now are probably not the limit. Ming Qinzhi Zhu Di, Ming Renzong Zhu Jiaokai, Ming Xianzong Zhu Zanji, will they miss this event? But, not waiting for those few to come out. The 3 men from the Mengu kingdom were already frightened out of their wits. In the one just now, all 3 of them were whipped away at once. 5 of them pop up right now? How to fight this? What a brave and capable country on horseback. The three of them were completely intimidated. With their true energy aroused, they had to fly into the air with all their strength to escape from this dangerous place. Including practitioners from other countries, there are many who are simply giving up at this moment. Especially practitioners in the innate realm have no desire to fight. Without saying a word, he turned around and ran away. What kind of international joke are you kidding? Those innate talents from Mengu Kingdom were immediately turned into a pulp under the hands of Zhu Qichen. Now, 5 such powerful ghost generals suddenly appeared. I don't know if there will be a few more in the future. These more than 10,000 monks are not enough for them to take pictures. Of course, the ones running are still a small number, just some small countries. Most people, especially those 30 or so strong people in the delusion realm. It's not moving now. Because they clearly remember the fate of Sakurajima country, Asin country, and Bangsa country. Anyone who offends China will be punished no matter how far away he is. Zhou Yi's words were not just casual remarks. Today, even if he ran away, I am afraid that I will have to bear the wrath of China in the future. It's better to fight to the death. Maybe there is still a chance, even if that little girl really moved all the Ming tombs out. They are just 13 ghost generals who have broken the delusion realm. They still have the advantage. And soon, they discovered, running was in vain. Because 857 can't run away at all. Buzz buzz buzz. When Battle and others from the Mengu Kingdom were running away like crazy, Zhu Qichen and others did not catch up. Zhou Yi and Zhou Shii did not issue orders, but still looked like they were watching a show. But the whole world was shaking violently. It was as if a magnitude 10 earthquake had occurred, or even worse. Everyone looks towards the source of all this. Even more dumbfounded. The Great Wall. The Great Wall entrenched on the ground. At this time, it was actually blooming, with colorful and dazzling brilliance, constantly twisting. It's like a giant dragon breaking free. If you look down from a high altitude, you will find that the Great Wall at this time, merged with those colorful brilliance, has really turned into the shape of a giant dragon. And on a section of the Great Wall, on top of the prototype of a dragon head, there was a small figure carrying a long sword, sitting cross-legged and making seals with his hands. Astonishingly, it was Zhou Yi's other daughter, the little sword fairy Zhou Xiu in white. Ouch! Following Zhou Xi, another seal was created. On the Great Wall, the giant dragon condensed with colorful brilliance finally broke free from its restraints and soared into the sky. Then, it turned into streaks of colorful rays of light in mid-air, forming a huge light curtain. Cover the entire territory of China. Boom! Bang bang bang! Bader and others were just about to fly out. It was directly covered by the huge light curtain and bounced back. This time, those foreign cultivators, even the 30 or so strong ones who have broken the delusion realm. I started to panic a little bit. What is China going to do? Catching a turtle in a urn? Is that guy crazy? He doesn't really want to catch all the practitioners in the world. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 230. Lishan was under the influence of Ying Zheng and others. The spiritual energy between heaven and earth has gradually recovered, and it is much more abundant than before. I finally came back. Did I think I would never come back? Han Kuei looked at the familiar scene and murmured, his tone full of nostalgia. Zhou Yi nodded, and his eyes turned to the Lishan camp. The soldiers of Qin state were already ready. Qin Shi Wan Ying Zheng stood on the city wall of Lishan Tower, looking into the distance. I wonder how many of our great Qin warriors will be left after this battle. Ying Zheng looked up to the sky and sighed, his expression sad. Your Majesty, we will definitely achieve final victory, kill all the gods, and restore our great Qin to its former glory. Meng Yi, Zhang Han, and others stood on the left and right sides of Ying Zheng, and said with cupped hands. A faint smile appeared on the corner of Ying Zheng's mouth. This is true, for generations to come, every windowsill of my Daqin family will be the same. The bright moon will shine brightly. At this time, a bolt of thunder pierced the night. Then strong winds sprang up, and dark clouds covered half of the sky. The sky is about to change. Qin Shiwan Ying Zheng looked up at the sky and clenched his fists, because he is the only one in the world who can dance. No matter what difficulties he encounters, he will not shrink back. Brother Ying. Brother Ying. I brought you a helper, her name is Han Kui, she is a powerful person from ancient times. Zhou Yi's shout came in. Ying Zheng was startled. He had also heard of Han Kui's name. He was definitely a terrifying existence. Han Kui changed his indifferent attitude and bowed to Ying Zheng. You must be like my father, right? I feel a huge dragon energy in you. If we work together, we will definitely be able to defeat those gods. When Zhou Yi heard this, a big stone in his heart finally fell to the ground. It was an unexpected surprise for Han Kui to join his camp. Boom! Lightning flashed and thunder thundered, and heavy rain poured down. A terrifying momentum suddenly enveloped the entire Lishan mountain. What happened? Such a big thunderstorm. Everyone looked up, showing shock. Look over there. At this moment, Su Fu, who had been silent all this time, pointed at the southern part of Lishan mountain in great surprise and shouted loudly. I saw a dark group of people appearing in the southern part of Lishan mountain. Among them was a warrior riding a giant horse, with steam all over his body. The black smoke looks like a demon. Behind the horseback warrior, there are a group of demons, skeletons, etc., and their target is Lishan. Oh my God, how could this happen? Everyone was extremely panicked. The black smoke-filled knight on horseback waved his hand, and blood suddenly filled the sky. The sea of blood surged into the sky. Endless waves of blood swept over. The sounds of screams came and went. What a strong blood evil spirit, Zhou Yi was taken aback. The knight on horseback made a sinister sound, which was creepy. Zhou Yi. Do you ever remember me? Zhou Yi stared at the horse-riding warrior and frowned. Of course he recognized this person. It was Hades, the king of Hades whom he had defeated before. However, Hades, the king of Hades, was in a parasitic state before. After being defeated by Zhou Yi, he always thought that one day he would become a true king. He came to seek revenge from Zhou Yi. Now, Hades finally fulfilled his wish. Of course I remember the loser that I beat to the point of kneeling down and begging for mercy, Zhou Yi sarcastically said. I am the lord of the underworld, how can I allow you to insult me? Now let me see my true strength. Hades, the king of Hades, was furious. He spread his wings and turned into a meteor and rushed towards Zhou Yi. Hades, the king of Hades, was as fast as lightning and appeared in front of Zhou Yi in almost the blink of an eye. Pluto, how dare you come to China to cause trouble? Zhou Yi was not afraid. He threw out the flying sword in his hand and struck at Hades. The flying sword collided with the steel fork of Hades. The two are in a stalemate. After a second, Zhou Yi flipped his wrist, and the flying sword suddenly vibrated. Hades' steel fork escaped from his control and fell to the ground. Hades' face changed drastically. How could this Zhou Yi be considered his true body? After arriving, is he still unrivaled? Not to be outdone, Hades, the king of Hades, quickly mobilized the divine power in his body and unleashed an extremely powerful magic, 9 Nether Hell. In an instant, the breath of death filled the surroundings, as if this Fangtiandi has become the underworld. A huge circular ghost gate appeared out of thin air behind Hades. Inside the ghost gate, the dark void seemed to lead to another universe. Hades, the king of Hades, reached out and pushed, and the huge ghost door slowly opened, and an extremely terrifying devouring power emanated from it. Zhou Yi smiled slightly. Suddenly, a bronze light lit up. Two huge bronze tripods appeared, suspended in mid-air. A tripod is about 10 feet high, with strange patterns painted on it, giving off a mysterious atmosphere. The other cauldron is smaller, but the patterns on it are equally mysterious and difficult to see clearly. The bronze cauldron trembled lightly, and a prehistoric aura spewed out from the cauldron's mouth. A beam of light rose into the sky, driving away the surrounding darkness. Kenju Yu, a mere mortal, possessed China's supreme artifact. Zhou Yi said lightly, then flicked his finger, and a ray of golden light shot out and hit the bronze tripod. The bronze tripod shook violently, making a deafening sound, and released an even brighter golden light. Wherever the golden light reached, at this point, the 9 nether hells instantly collapsed, dissipated into nothingness, and the sky became clear again, with the sun shining brightly. Hades spit out a large mouthful of blood and suffered heavy injuries. What exactly is your magic weapon? How do you possess such majestic power? Hades, the king of Hades, exclaimed, and at the same time, he also asked the soldiers of the underworld behind him to start attacking Lishan. Zhuyi. So what if you are strong alone? As long as I hold you back, these armies of the underworld behind me will be able to flatten your China. Hades roared, and his figure suddenly blurred, slipped into the ghost gate, and disappeared completely. Damn it, Zhou Yi gritted his teeth. Zhou Yi, don't worry, we will defend China to the death. Yang Zheng strode up and said with a determined expression. Then Yang Zheng waved his hand. Qin soldiers, guard Lishan with Qin swords and Qin crossbows, and prepare to meet the enemy. Obey. The Qin army drew out their Qin swords and Qin crossbows one after another. The Qin army's footsteps stamped on the ground in unison, Qin's armor clanged, Qin's swords were cold, and Qin's crossbows buzzed. In an instant, the entire Lishan mountain was filled with murderous people. Qin Jiashi. Form a shield array. The general of the Qin army, Men Yi, took the lead and led 300 Qin soldiers to form a huge shield wall. Seeing this, the underworld army couldn't help laughing. Ha ha ha. What are these ignorant mortals doing? Planning to kill us with their weapons. Their weapons are not powerful enough to hurt us, they are just like ants. That's right, they are just a bunch of dead lambs waiting to be slaughtered. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 231. The army of the underworld laughed unscrupulously, and accelerated its approach, intending to raze Lishan Mountain to the ground. Whoosh! At this time, there was a sudden sound of piercing the sky, and arrows pierced the sky, carrying destructive energy, crossing a distance of 1,000 meters, and heading straight to the forefront of the underworld army. A piece of blood mist splashed up, and the vanguard of the underworld army was pierced by these arrows and died on the spot. What? Why do these mortal weapons hurt us? The armies of the underworld immediately stopped advancing and fell into brief chaos. The Qin army's crossbowmen continued to draw their bows and shoot arrows, and every arrow must take a life. Brothers, don't panic, these mortals may have artifacts in their hands, but as long as we get close, it's our advantage. That's right. Brothers, charge. For Lord Hades. The Underworld 370 army reacted and roared immediately. Waves of underworld armies continued to charge, but to no avail. Their horses were nailed to death by arrows, soldiers fell to the ground, and corpses piled up. Soon it turned into millstones of flesh and blood. At this time, Zhou Yi kept looking for the location of Hades in the void. This guy who ran away if he couldn't be beaten was very cunning. Once he escaped into the ghost gate, there would be no trace. Although Zhou Yi, it's awesome, but it can't track Hades into the ghost gate. This guy must still be hiding around. With the thought in Zhou Yi's mind, a spiritual mark flew out from his sea of consciousness and spread rapidly, covering several kilometers in radius. After all, Hades is the king of the underworld and is very sensitive to the soul's breath. Once his soul has any, no change could be hidden from Zhou Yi. Soon, a figure loomed in the distance. "Go to hell!" Zhou Yi shouted loudly, and stabbed out with the flying sword in his hand, tearing the space apart instantly, shattering the void, and slashed into the black shadow. A scream came, and the black shadow appeared, and it was Hades, the king of Hades. His left arm was cut off by Zhou Yi's sword, and his body was swaying. "Hades, today is the day you die." Zhou Yi was extremely indifferent. He stepped forward and punched Hades in the chest. But at this time, Hades's face showed a look of success. "Ha ha ha! Zhou Yi! Today is your death day. Why do you think I came to challenge you?" After saying that, countless divine patterns began to appear under Zhou Yi's feet, and a terrifying aura enveloped Zhou Yi. Not good. This is a space transfer spell. Zhou Yi's face finally showed a solemn look. At this time, the divine pattern continued to outline various complex runes on the ground, and then a dark space wormhole appeared, sucking Zhou Yi into it. Zhou Yi was involved in the unknown by the space tunnel. World. On Mount Li, when everyone saw this, they all let out grief-stricken and indignant cries. Broken. Sect leader Zhou has been plotted. Zhou Yi, please be sure nothing happens to you, otherwise all our efforts will be in vain. Zhang Jiwei and others turned pale, because they deeply understood the horror of space movement. If they are not careful, they will fall into the space tunnel and get lost in the turbulence of space. At this time, Zhou Xi flew to Yingzheng. "Around me, Uncle Ying. Please save my father." Yingzheng shook his head and sighed, and waved his hand to refuse. Zhou Yi was trapped in the space passage. He must stay to suppress the underworld army, otherwise, Lashan would be destroyed. Hades saw Zhou Yi disappearing, his arrogance appeared again, he stared at Yingzheng and others, with a cruel light in his eyes. "You stupid humans! Do you think that with Zhou Yi here, you can go against our gods? It's simply wishful thinking. I tell you, today all of you must die." Hades laughed wildly. Yingzheng took a step at this time. "So what if Zhou Yi is not here? As long as I am still here, you beasts will never even think about setting foot in China." Boom. After saying that, he struck with both palms, and a terrifying energy swept across the fields, overturning all the underworld armies. Those with weaker cultivation levels even let out miserable howls, and then disappeared into ashes. Hades, the king of Hades, laughed crazily, and his whole body shone with blood-red light, like a demon coming to the dust, making people intimidated. "You are worthy of my suppression." A giant axe appeared out of thin air and struck at Yingzheng. This giant axe seemed to be able to split the space. It was extremely fast and had arrived in front of Yingzheng in the blink of an eye. Yingzheng smiled slightly and held the Tianwen sword across the sky. "In front of me." There was a shocking loud noise, but Yingzheng didn't move at all. But the giant axe was knocked back several feet. "How can it be?" Hades was shocked. He held a giant axe in his hand, rose into the air, and slashed at Yingzheng. Yingzheng still stood there, but his Tianwen sword suddenly flew up, and a sharp sword struck chi burst out from the tip of the sword and hit the giant axe hard. This sword chi actually cut the giant axe into two pieces and fell to the ground. The giant axe is the treasure of the underworld, and it is the weapon refined by Hades. The magic weapon made by the magic weapon is naturally extremely powerful. But it just collided with the Tianwen sword, and it could not block the edge of the Tianwen sword. Hades was shocked. He did not expect that Yingzheng's strength could reach such a level. At the moment when Hades was stunned, the Tianwen sword turned into a cold light and cut more than 10 deep wounds on his body. "Damn, This human is so scary. I'm no match for him. Hades gritted his teeth and cursed secretly, and was about to use the secret skill of space transfer to escape. But Ying Zheng had long expected that Hades was going to escape, and the dragon energy surged in his body, and he used the forbidden technique to seal off the space within a radius of 300 meters. Hades couldn't use the space transfer technique to escape at all, so he had to fight hard. But Hades was injured and was no match for Ying Zheng. After only 20 moves, his other arm was also cut off. 0.0 Come. Hades saw that he couldn't do anything to Ying Zheng, and his eyes revealed a fierce gaze. Immediately, Hades's figure surged, and in an instant he turned into a head about 100 meters tall with 9 heads. A terrifying creature wearing armor and holding a halberd. This is the most powerful form of Hades. Under normal circumstances, he will not be revealed. Do you think I'm really afraid of you? Today I will definitely slaughter Lashan and destroy your tomb. Hades roared angrily. The 9 heads of Hades spewed out countless evil winds of resentment and attacked Ying Zheng overwhelmingly. Ying Zheng held the Tianwen sword and stepped out in one step. How can the might of great Qin be tolerated? You are so presumptuous. A golden Qin character appeared behind Ying Zheng. This Qin character carried infinite domineering power and emitted a dazzling light, illuminating the entire world. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 232. Your Majesty, kill him. Your Majesty, please eradicate the evil spirits. At this time, many soldiers of the Qin kingdom raised their arms and shouted. Ying Zheng raised the Tianwen sword and struck out the word Qin. The word Qin broke through the sky, like a falling galaxy, looking at everything in its direction, invincible. Those resentful evil winds suddenly it collapsed. At the same time, more than a dozen hideous scars appeared on Hades's body, and blood spattered and dyed the sky red. Hades's body was teetering in the air and almost fell to the ground. He suffered a heavy blow. It was impossible to resist Ying Zheng's injuries. And of the 9 heads, after Ying Zheng's blow, only one remained. I hate it, Hades roared. His body suddenly exploded and turned into a wisp of smoke. He wanted to take the opportunity to leave here. Ying Zheng continued to wield the Tianwen sword and slashed out several sword rays again, killing Hades' soul. Hades must be shattered. Hades completely fell. This is a glacier, with vast wilderness. After Zhou Yi fell here, he immediately used his true energy to resist the cold and damp, and observed carefully. There was white snow up to 3 feet thick all around, and at a glance it goes on for thousands of miles, with no end in sight. Ha ha ha, Zhou Yi, I have already calculated that you are destined to die here. Suddenly, a wild laughter sounded, and as soon as the divine light was counted, it shot toward Zhou Yi, trying to kill Zhou Yi. Zhou Yi drew out his sword like lightning and split the divine lights apart. The world here doesn't have that many restrictions on me. Zhou Yi breathed a sigh of relief. In this world, even if he used 50% of his strength, he could not cause the world to collapse. At this moment, all the gods such as Sakyamuni, Zeus, and Odin gathered here. Zhou Yi was trapped in this world. Zhou Yi glanced at it. Haha. It seems that all the gods in your kingdom are here. Today, you cannot escape death, Zeus roared, his eyes red. This was a trap specially set by the gods to fix Zhou Yi in a space and unable to escape. They could swarm up and kill Zhou Yi, a perverted mortal. Because Zhou Yi is too powerful, it is simply unbelievable. If Zhou Yi is allowed to live, it will be a huge threat to their entire Protoss and even the entire Universe 27. Even the arrogant gods have to admit that in a one-on-one duel, no one dares to say that they can definitely beat Zhou Yi. You old fools actually banded together to trick me. Zhou Yi was furious. He really didn't expect that the gods in the divine world could be so despicable. Humph, the weak are not qualified to evaluate gods. The rules of our divine world are that the weak eat the strong. If you are strong enough, how can you be bullied by others? Odin sneered. He felt that he had done a very good job this time. He lured Joyi here and made it impossible for Joyi to escape. Stop talking nonsense, Zhuyi, don't you want to slaughter all the gods in the divine world? Now, I'm standing in front of you. Sakyamuni said with a ferocious smile. Brahma, Ares, Athena, Apollo, and other gods all nodded. Apparently, these gods have reached some kind of consensus. If this is the case, then I will help you. Stern murderous intent bloomed in Joyi's eyes. Joyi pulled out the flying sword on his back and prepared to kill. At this time, Zeus took out his god king's scepter. On the scepter, there were the huge gem emits a blazing divine light. Zeus waved his scepter, and countless thunderbolts began to jump on the scepter of the god king, and a majestic energy burst out. Joyi, I will use thunder to cleanse your evil soul today and make you fall into hell forever. Zeus raised his god king's scepter and hit Joyi hard. Click, click, click. As the god king's scepter fell, the entire space became distorted. This earth-shattering attack, even a planet, is estimated to be it was smashed to pieces by Zeus's blow and turned into ashes. Little trick. Joyi shouted coldly, holding a flying sword to greet him. Joyi was no longer suppressing his cultivation at this time, and this was not Blue Star anyway. Joyi didn't have to worry that the world couldn't bear his energy, and he could use his power unscrupulously. When Joyi's flying sword hit the God King's scepter, a burst of sparks burst out. The two gems on the God King's scepter were cut open by Joyi's sword, and the divine light dimmed a lot. Joyi succeeded with one blow and pursued the victory. Swung his sword again, and killed Zeus on the shoulder, and blood suddenly spurted out. The scepter of the God King was broken, and Zeus suffered a fatal loss, and half of his right arm fell. At this time, Odin used his artifact, the Spear of Eternity. He took it out and threw it towards Joyi. Joyi hurriedly avoided it. The spear roared and penetrated an ice peak. The ice peak collapsed and countless snow fell down, forming a snow rain. The eternal spear is a weapon of the law of cause and effect. After the spear is thrown, it will definitely hit the target and kill the enemy completely. This divine spear missed a single hit and continued to chase Joyi. More and more gods also sacrificed their divine weapons to kill Joyi. Joyi holding a flying sword in his hand, he fought with the gods, fighting in darkness. The space shook, as if it might collapse at any time. This was the most violent confrontation between Joyi and the gods. If it were another person, only I am afraid that I will die long ago and will be unable to stop the crazy siege of the gods. Joyi, you'd better just surrender, otherwise, I will torture you with supreme punishment, making you unable to live or die. Zeus gritted his teeth and said that his right arm was destroyed. But it was not a big deal to him. He could also rely on the God King's scepter to recover from his injuries. I bother. You ain't like gods want to kill me, you are simply delusional. Joyi was not afraid and started fighting with the god. His strength was beyond imagination, and every move carried the flavor of destruction. Joyi's body seemed to contain a terrifying whirlpool. No matter what kind of attack, when it arrived in front of him, it immediately disappeared into thin air. How strong is this kid? All the gods were shocked. Even the previous god Lord Uranus could not resist the attacks of the gods like Joyi. Another divine weapon crashed on Joyi, but it was shattered by Joyi's punch. Then he stabbed Zeus with another sword. Zeus quickly dodged, and at the same time, with one finger of his left hand, he shot out a divine spear, right between Joyi's eyebrows. The speed of this divine spear was extremely fast. Once it was hit, Joyi was likely to death. Joyi held the flying sword and cut the divine spear open with a single stroke. At the same time, the tip of the flying sword was already in front of Zeus's forehead. Zeus suddenly felt pain as if his head was exploding. He quickly backed away. All the gods were horrified. In an instant, all kinds of divine soldiers glowed and rushed towards Zhou Yi. Zhou Yi held a flying sword in his hand and displayed fierce sword skills. I really don't know if you are really smart or stupid. You dragged me into this world and let me act unscrupulously. Isn't this sending me to death? Zhou Yi had a sneer on his lips, and his figure was like a ghost, rushing into the gods. He stepped on the 7 stars, his steps were mysterious, and his posture was elegant and unrestrained. When he flipped his wrist, the flying swords turned into streams of silver light, shrouding the gods one by one. Clear and sweet sounds continued to be heard, and the divine soldiers were shot down by Zhou Yi's flying swords and fell to the ground, making a clanging sound. After dozens of seconds, Zhou Yi's surroundings, piled with the weapons of the gods. One god screamed and fell in a pool of blood. The other gods turned pale with fright and quickly retreated. Zhou Yi's swordsmanship has reached its peak, and ordinary gods are not him at all. Opponent. At this moment, a bright golden bead suddenly shot out from a distance. Zhou Yi's face changed slightly, and while waving his flying sword, he moved to the side and narrowly avoided the metal bead. Hey hey! Zhou Yi, why don't you dare to take one of my moves from Shakya? You were not like this back then. Sakyamuni smiled eerily. Our decisive battle has just begun. There is only one ending for you, and that is defeat. Shakya. Zhou Yi stared at Sakyamuni, showing a strong murderous intent. The mercy on Sakyamuni's face was no longer there, but cruelty. Zhou Yi, today we will have a good fight to see who is stronger. Sakyamuni snorted coldly, clasped his palms together, and vomited lotus flowers from his mouth. Suddenly, his body shone with dazzling brilliance. The shadow of a gigantic Buddha thousands of feet high condensed. This huge Buddha is wearing cassock and holding a glazed pagoda in his hand. The pagoda emits colorful rays of light and auspicious mist, making it appear solemn and peaceful. This phantom was transformed by Sakyamuni using the power of faith. Amitabha. Sakyamuni uttered Sanskrit sounds, clasped his hands together, and struck with one palm. Immediately, the huge Buddha behind him also slapped a palm. The Buddha's palm prints covered the sky, and the power was extraordinary. This palm was too terrifying. Even from the depths of the universe, infinite power poured down. For a moment, the gods trembled and retreated one after another. This guy Shakya finally took action. I thought he didn't have the guts to come. Athena murmured. Zhou Yi narrowed his eyes, and the antimatter energy on his fingertips was surging crazily virtual style. See you. Buzz. A ripple shot out from Zhou Yi's fingertips and collided with Buddha's palm print, erupting into a dazzling energy halo. With a poof sound, the Buddha's palm print was pierced by antimatter energy. This is a virtual form created by Zhou Yi fused with the power of a black hole, and has the effect of tearing everything apart. How is that possible? Sakyamuni's face changed drastically, but the old bald donkey did not panic and recited a few more difficult to understand mantras. In the hands of the 10,000-foot-long Buddha, a strange treasure vase actually appeared. The vase was suspended in the air, emitting a dazzling golden light. As soon as it shines out, the whole world lights up, giving people a feeling of infinite light. This is the famous secret skill of Buddha Sakyamuni, the great sun Tathagata vase. As soon as this treasure pot comes out, a vast force of attraction was generated, trying to draw Zhou Yi into it. Zhou Yi activated the antimatter energy and turned it into thick ropes, binding the weird treasure bottle. Boom! The two were entangled with each other, creating the huge energy storm shattered the void. When Zeus and Odin saw Zhou Yi being attracted by Sakyamuni, they instantly used their most powerful tricks to attack Zhou Yi. Zeus held the divine halberd and swept through thousands of troops with overwhelming domineering power. The golden hammer in Ding's hand has even more destructive power. The two divine weapons, one on the left and the other on the right, blocked the space around Zhou and oppressed Zhou until he could not breathe. Zeus and Odin are both gods. They are the pinnacle existences in China and have profound cultivation. The two of them join forces, and their power is not small. If Zhou had not understood the secret of antimatter, he might not have been able to withstand their siege. Since you are eager to seek death, I will help you. I will kill you first and then kill Sakyamuni, Zhou sneered. Boom. In an instant, Zhou released all his energy. The surface of his body was burning with flames, like a scorching sun. The flying sword in his hand also spurted out blazing flames, like a streak of like a dragon, it roared and rushed over. Three completely different energies intertwined and made a violent impact. The whole world shook, as if the end of the world was coming. Zeus and Odin, although they are both among the gods, the king, but under Zhou's terrifying attacks, he was still retreating. Finally, Zeus and Odin were injured, and they received a sword in the chest. This is not over yet. Virtual style, Kang He. Zhou's eyes burst out with two beams of cold light. He worked hard and activated the antimatter energy again. A beam of light 480 meters thicker than before hit Zeus and Odin, penetrating their bodies. The blood was dripping, and the flesh and blood were blurred. The next moment, Zhou rose into the sky and rushed towards Sakyamuni. It was just a sword. The sword Zhou swung with all his strength directly penetrated Sakyamuni's chest, and his arm grabbed Sakyamuni head and lifted him up. Shakya, you have done a lot of sins over the years, and today is the time for you to repay your debts. Zhou's eyes were full of murderous intent, and he punched Sakyamuni on the head. Sakyamuni's head immediately shattered. Zhou's sword directly cut the world in half. This Zhou is so cruel. The Book of Changes was so terrible that he actually killed Sakyamuni, Odin, and Zeus. What should we do? Run. The remaining gods were horrified. Their main god Sakya was killed and the dragons were leaderless. How could they resist Zhou? Whoosh whoosh whoosh. For a time, whether it was the gods of Atlantis or the gods in Greek mythology, the gods all fled outwards. Snort. No one can leave today. Zhou snorted coldly. He activated the antimatter energy to form a long river, blocking the way the gods left. In the blink of an eye, several Atlantis gods were hit by Zhou with antimatter energy. No bones left. Let's fight with Zhou. The remaining gods knew that they could not escape, so they sacrificed their weapons one by one, rushed towards Zhou, and launched a crazy attack. But at this time Zhou just kept compressing the antimatter energy. Under his control, the antimatter energy continued to compress, and the more and more it gets smaller and smaller, and its power becomes more and more powerful. Virtual style, annihilation. There was an explosion, and Zhou used the extremely compressed antimatter energy to hit the enemy. All the gods were destroyed by this attack and completely disappeared from the sky. Even the world here began to collapse due to Zhou's attack. Oops! I accidentally destroyed a world, what a sin! Zhou sighed. He used the forbidden technique of virtual style, annihilation. No matter how huge the world is, it cannot carry this kind of energy. Randomly, Zhou flashed through space and returned to the original world. After all the gods fell, Zhou used the gods of these gods and the Chinese Kyushu cauldron to begin to change the destiny of the world. 3 years later, Blue Star, which was originally in the end of the Dharma era and lacked resources, ushered in a new era. Human civilization ushered in an unprecedented period of rapid growth. The combination of immortality, cultivation and technology has brought about earth-shaking changes. Human lifespan is no longer limited, and wisdom has reached an astonishing level. All these changes are due to Zhou. Even if there is no God in the world, so what? Zhou is the creation of a new era for mankind. The Creator, the God of creation.